All right, what are we talking about, Phil? Welcome to watchandcomplain.com.
Today on the show, we are watching The Harder They Fall.
Oh, I got notes for this one.
Uh-oh. After I said to do notes?
Recount the plot, Phil.
Yeah, Phil, tell us about
I
the
didn't
plot.
Right. Okay. Don't
See,
hang your
I
head
like
to
how
me.
you
I
bitch
love
at
how
us.
Don't hang your
that
head
we're
to
not
me.
ready.
Single fucking time.
I wasn't
You
expecting you to go straight to the plot. You guys always
What do you
go on this big diatribe of like something non-related to the movie. It's like the director's son had a movie that you watched last week.
Now, the one
But
thing
it's like every time
that
you
I'll
touch
bring up
technology, it's like you're touching it for the first time.
about when I started
Yeah.
watching this stupid movie, the first lines that come up, it's like, this is inspired by a true story. While some of it may be wrong or be untrue or whatever, these people existed. And as soon as I fucking saw that, I typed over to YouTube, no, they didn't.
But they did.
Because I wrote right here, as soon as a movie tries to be super cool and tell you that the people in the story are all real, you can rest assured that it's complete fucking bullshit.
But they did.
The only fun way to do that, and the only way you can do it well, is in Fargo. When you go all in on the lie and say this is all fucking true story, right?
They didn't
When they
say
do it
that.
in fucking Young Guns, when they do it in fucking movies that say, oh yeah, inspired by true story. Inspired by means, sure, this person was fucking real, but that's it. And the rest of this shit is all fucking
They
made up.
didn't lie.
You could say that Indiana Jones and the fucking Last Crusade is inspired by a true story because Hitler's in it and he was a real fucking guy. The rest of it is complete nonsense.
They just said these people were real. So the entities, Nat Love, Mary Fields, Rufus Buck, Cherokee Bill, Bill Pickett, Jim Beckworth, and, am I saying this right? Bass Reeves, are all historical figures of the Old West.
Okay, great. But
So you're wrong.
the ideology
mean?
that they try to
Wait.
tell you they were these hip and cool guys,
did they do?
bullshit.
Did they do?
They didn't say,
Did they do
all the
anything though that
intricacies are
happens
the
in
same.
the movie, Phil?
Didn't
Did
they say
do
it was
anything?
No,
inspired
that's
by a
not what
true
they
story?
said, though.
Oh,
I thought he says it
so
was
it's
inspired.
like these names
You're-
existed,
no,
but they didn't do
You
anything.
guys are being particular in in what was said here.
Facts.
And no, it was just a generalization. These guys were real. The names are real. It's true.
Okay.
They
Generalize
all
what
existed.
it said, and it's true.
This fucking director
Did any-
needs to go
No
back
one
to
said
Britain
the-
and stop making fucking movies and stick
no
to
one
fucking
said
music.
that the events that happened during
Did
this
any-
movie actually happened. That's not what was
Did
said.
did any actions that
I'm being a
these
devil's advocate for you.
But Phil, did any of the actions that these characters do happen in real
That's
life?
not
No,
what they
of course
said in
not.
the
What-
front. That's
what does
not
that
what we're
mean?
discussing.
It did.
What does
Of
that
course
mean,
it
though?
did.
It's not what they're discussing.
So
Also-
here's people with the same name. There's no difference other than that.
They just said those people by name are the same people.
Did
What-
you
what,
notice
the same
that
people?
this
I mean,
asshole
that actually
director,
existed.
this asshole director,
This movie is based off of them.
Yeah.
But obviously changed.
Were they gunslingers at all?
I don't know.
look at fucking
You're
Billy.
supposed to do
it's just like
research for
fucking
I
this.
Young
don't have
Guns.
to do
You're
research.
bringing it
no
up.
They try
one
to tell
said
you-
I have to do research.
I
You,
do.
you
I
watch
do
fucking
research
Young
because I
Guns
do.
and you're like, oh shit, all of this must have been real. All there was a fucking Billy the
What
Kid
research
and a
did you
Pat
do?
Garrett that fucking killed him. Hi there. But
Hello.
Breakfast treats.
Oh,
thank
that's
you.
very nice of you. Thank you.
Review none for Rob.
Oh, that's
you get out of our fucking podcast, please.
I like how you
Get
brought
the
it
fuck
from
out.
Cobb's Bread. I always think it's like, wow, Leonardo DiCaprio is Dominic Cobb from Inception, started a bread shop and then
It's
gave
only,
it to us.
it's wrong. Isn't it only
Cobb's
I-
Bread.
There's one B though.
I
He has two
love
B's in
Cobb's
his
bread.
name.
And so does
is
my
it ever
wife.
spelled on screen?
It is.
Box of treats.
But that's one B?
This
I'm pretty
director
sure that's two B's.
sure thinks that he's hot shit as this douchebag director stops the fucking terrible song that's playing. Also, another thing that I'm going to say, the music for this movie was awful.
I like it.
But he stops the fucking music to say, directed by James Samuel Film, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, it's
This guy is a douchebag. The only people that do that are people that deserve it. The people that
What do you
can
mean?
stop, the people that can say a Quentin Tarantino film that fills up the entire fucking screen, that fills up the entire fucking
and
frame.
at what my question is, at what point in Tarantino's career, because that's a good example,
Mm-hmm.
would he have been able to do that? You think by the time of Inglorious Bastards, or I'd say around Kill Bill, number 4.
For me personally, I'd argue after Pulp Fiction because Pulp Fiction was a breath of fresh air.
yeah,
I
it
think
was
he
a very
had.
successful picture.
He's a real prick of a guy, but he has the clout to do that. If Scorsese want to do it, he's got the fucking clout to do it. This fucking Dick Lock, this fucking guy, James Samuel, who's a rapper from fucking Britain, he needs to go the fuck back to Britain because this movie sucks, and I hope he doesn't make anything else. Also, what kind of a douchebag stops the fucking music so he can go to James Samuel Films?
I mean, a
my
lot of
second
indie
film.
directors do that, though. You know,
This guy should get killed.
And then the other
It's a
thing
normal
is
thing.
with marketing, and I see it all the time. But it's like from visionary director Sam Levinson.
Right.
It's like, okay, but like Sam Levinson, is Assassination Nation like a visionary movie? It's
The
very
only
derivative.
time I've ever seen that be valid is from legendary director, I don't know, I forgot his name, George,
Must not be much
no,
of a legend.
Mad Max, Fury Road, Miller. From legendary director George Miller. That's fucking fair. Because
But how
the
is
Road
he a
War-
legend?
Because the Road Warrior was a type of movie that influenced everything else that came after it.
Like Waterworld.
Yeah, Waterworld, it's a great movie.
Waterworld's
All right,
good.
back to
Why-
my
when is
fucking notes.
Waterworld gonna get like a Mad Max Fury Road style redo?
I fucking,
I love it.
Dude,
Do it.
I
You
hate
do it right now.
I'll do it.
I fucking
That sounds
hate
great.
the
George
dialogue in this movie. It was nailed
It's
fucking.
okay.
It was nails on a chalkboard bad.
Okay.
I want to say that there's something to say about. Okay, so this is doing something.
By the way, this has the same producer as Pulp Fiction.
Wow,
I'm
what a
trying-
big fucking surprise! Because this guy's trying as hard as he can to be fucking Quentin Tarantino.
Lawrence Bender. So you could probably say, what if that was like Lawrence Bender's idea, and he's like, yeah, you got to do this. Because
I don't think
when
so.
I worked
This
with Quentin back in the day,
because this dickhead wrote the movie as well.
Sure.
It fucking reeked of this asshole trying to do Quentin Tarantino
I
dialogue.
want to say that this movie was not really directed at us. It was directed like towards.
oh, were
black
you guys
people.
as disappointed? Hey,
No,
were you
I
guys
wouldn't
as
say so.
I think it.
I would-
directed at
say-
who? Sorry,
black people.
Were you guys
I think
as
it's a
no? I
huge
think it's
thing.
for everybody, but like sure.
well, it's for
Were you guys as
everyone, but I think
disappointed
it's
as me
huge.
though? Like 25 minutes into the movie when white people show up, because I
That was
was
surprising.
because I was like, oh, damn it. Like, I thought this was going to be an all black movie. I was like kind of excited. I was like on board with the idea. Like, anything they don't show in like the opening scene, like your opening scene is like the mission statement. So when the train, the train conductor shows up, I'm like,
Christ.
ah, crap.
that fucking train scene.
Well, all the weak people were white.
Which I'm fine with. That's
I mean,
totally
sure.
fine. And it could be an entire black movie, which is great.
Yeah.
The problem was, for me, that they were like, these are the fucking. Remember Shaft? Fuck Shaft. That guy's never going to be as cool as Cherokee Bill. Remember guys like fucking Blackula?
it's like the
Remember
same
Pam Grier?
style.
Fuck those guys. They're never going to be as.
I don't
They
think it
tried
really
so
wanted to say
fucking
fuck
hard
them.
to be as cool as they
Yes, they
could
were
be.
trying to be cool, but
I was
that's
like,
not-
get the fuck out of here. Just show me the fucking movie. Stand on the merits of your own fucking story.
But do you
and your
think that it was
actors.
trashing more than like paying homage to those?
Oh, it wasn't paying homage.
It was paying homage.
Nope,
It
not
totally
not at
was.
all. Not at fucking all.
Was there anything that you're like, oh, this really destroys, Coffee, Pam Grier's character? From
No,
the
but there was no
70s?
fucking scene in old Pam Grier movies when she's like, "Yeah, motherfuckers, I'm gonna take down these motherfuckers, and any of these motherfuckers even tries to say a motherfucking word that motherfucking starts with N, I'm gonna cap these motherfuckers." It's like, stop
I feel
trying to
she probably
put
said
new
that
fucking
more than-
dialogue
Yeah.
into this movie from the fucking old west.
Yeah, well, that is a. Can we say that's a trope or what is that? Like when they try to
When
put
you-
the
The
newfangled
revisionist
When
word-
you
Western.
do it and it's fun, it works. When you do it and you're trying to be, we're so fucking hip, we're so goddamn cool, it turns into those loser Fast and the Furious bro douchebags.
I'm starting to think that you don't like this movie.
Oh fuck.
I think that like I was going through this movie and I was trying to think maybe I'm not supposed to be the demographic and maybe like
We're
if
not the
this is a
target
bigger-
demographic,
Yeah,
but-
yeah. I'm
but the
just
movie's
thinking
made for
maybe
everybody.
maybe I'm not as into it because I'm not that demographic. And I'm not saying anything bad about that. It's just like maybe I don't understand how great this is.
No.
But I don't know because
Can
for
I say,
me,
as somebody who I would say generally liked the movie, I like the movie the most out of all the movies we reviewed this week. I want to say the negative things I didn't like about it. Yeah, I liked it. The thing I didn't like about it, and I noticed it right from the trailer, is that like I was thinking, okay, Jay-Z produces this movie, he's a billionaire, and then you have a normally well-known producer in Lawrence Bender, and it's like they didn't spend any money on set dressing, so the whole movie is very bare, which is
Which is fine.
Oh, we'll
no,
get to
no,
that.
it's not. It makes it look cheap. Like that's the problem I had with the movie, is that it looked cheap, even though there are a number of compositions in the movie that are good. So it's like, okay, the cinematographer at least knew what they were doing.
I didn't
These are all
notice as
reasonably
much.
good actors.
No.
They're like what's
False.
good enough for the production.
enough.
Adequate
Yeah,
directors.
And then you have the revisionist style attitude. It's like they paint the whole town white, you know. For the
That to
white
me,
thing.
I was like, Jesus Christ. Like,
It could have been a bit more subtle, but it's like I get their point. But
and
it's
that
also
to me
a
was the
complete-
problem. This
it's
fucking
also completely
stupid
pointless.
director doesn't understand subtlety. He doesn't. There's two things he doesn't understand. One,
Just like
subtlety,
Zack Snyder,
and
James
he
Samuels.
needs to learn. A good director, the great directors, know when to tell the actor, you're taking this character the wrong way. You're doing the wrong thing with it. I need you to do it more like this.
But there's nothing about this movie that is subtle.
The only two, I disagree. I'd say Idris Elba. A lot of his performance is very subtle.
Like
He's
what?
very.
a good
That's
example.
when he's coming out of the cage that they've got him locked in.
Yeah.
He's calm. He says, I can't remember what he says, but he's very gruff and mean. And then there's Cherokee Bill, these motherfuckers. And then the fucking Rita Skeeter, where the fucking Trudy, Dirty
Rita
Trudy or
Skeeter.
whatever. She's sitting there going, I need to kill all these motherfuckers. It's like
The Daily
a director
Prophet.
needs to be able to say, tone it down. You're at about a fucking 8. I need you. See where Idris is? He's at about a fucking 3 or 4. I need you to tone the fuck down because we want to make this scene scary. Once you start going over the top, it gets stupid and nobody's afraid. I need you to bring it the fuck down.
So did you think that similar to what I did, that Lakeith Stanfield kind of wasn't in the same movie as everyone else?
I think the only two actors who were in the same movie was Idris Elba and Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
Everybody else was making their own fucking movie. That fucking
I felt Jonathan Majors was up and down.
I thought he
was all right.
I kind of, number one, if Idris Elba, I didn't like his Jonathan Majors beard. If that, like, I wish I like my heroes clean shaven, I guess, even though I'm not this week. Last week I was, because I think of
As
myself
a guy that
hero.
can't grow a beard, maybe that's why I like Jonathan Majors so much, because I'm like, hey, a guy
'Cause
that
he had
can't
a
grow a
bad
beard.
beard.
All right,
You
I'm
can
down
at
with it.
least
Idris
grow a
Elba's was
goatee,
nice. They
yeah.
showed in close up a number of times. I'm like, that is a very nice maintained beard for a guy who's been in prison.
Right.
Like very well maintained.
But-
But it's like that's the stylized thing. But then the movie also didn't, for me, have enough style to compensate for the lack of like set dressing and stuff. And I'm like, meanwhile, if the music is good and the actors are good, I know you don't agree, but they are at least high profile actors.
Yep.
That would be
I'll
expensive.
give it
You
that.
you have all of that. You have a reasonably compelling story, even though it's a Old West trope. And
Yeah.
you have like two producers, one of whom's a billionaire, and it's like and then you come up short on something like the set dressing, and that the movie looks cheap, and it's like nobody cares that the movie doesn't look like a movie.
I don't know if you guys
It
agree,
was the
but
most bothersome element in a movie I
I
otherwise
thought a
liked.
lot of it was boring.
Yeah, that
I
was the
just
problem.
bored. The dialogue was
the
boring.
fucking problem was like
There's a lot
Idris
of-
Elba's beating the shit out of his fucking
train
old
was
partner
good.
Wiley. That was a great scene because you felt tension between these two characters. And then fucking Gummy or the kid that was always trying to flick his gunner, he shows up. He's like, "Oh, these motherfuckers are shit." Like, stop.
Yeah,
Like, bring it the
he's a
fuck
character,
down.
yeah.
But
yeah,
it's-
you ruin all the tension we've just set up with acting like a fucking douchebag. And then Trudy Rudy, or what does she want to call herself? Like
Trudy. but-
Gertrude the Rude or something. Her character is terrible. And that actress I can't remember her name. She was
Regina
great in
King.
Watchmen. Yeah, she was great in fucking Watchmen. She's a great reserved actress. Why she's making these choices, these actors' choices, is fucking beyond me because she was terrible.
Because it's like the direction
it's
by
a big-
James Samuels.
And
It's
that's
like
what it
we
is.
need
It's
you
a
to.
big black movie. Like,
But that doesn't mean you
I'm
need
sorry,
to go
like,
over
the-
the
the-
fucking top.
if you find out that there's a big movie that has predominantly black actors and they're trying to, they're
But
obviously
then
trying
you
to
watch
say
Judas
something
and the
here.
Black Messiah, and Judas and the
Hate
Black
that
Messiah.
movie. I hate
that
that
movie
movie
is
so
so well fucking acted compared to
not
this.
really.
This is a shit show compared to Judas and the Black Messiah.
I think Judas and the Black Messiah has one good thing going for it, and that's, or two, you could say 1.5, like, because I think that Daniel Kaluuya is good in it, even though he's like miscast.
You think?
Yes, he's about 10, 12 years too old, like everybody in that movie for the roles they're playing, and I don't like Judas and the Black Messiah at all. Although I
enjoy
was
it.
really looking forward to it, and you can give half a point for Jesse Plemons showing up because who shows up in like every movie
Everything,
now. Really
yep.
looking forward to Power of the Dog next month. But yeah, this movie, I don't know. I'm off track, but I don't think Lakeith Stanfield is good. But I'll upgrade him to from not liking him actively to hit and miss status because I saw Atlanta finally during the pandemic, and it's like for me more of a well-written role than a well-performed role. And two, I didn't mind him. I know nobody else likes this movie, but The Girl in the Spider's Web is perfectly adequate entertainment for me, and I liked his character in that. But
Yeah,
I
same
think
here.
he's super overrated as an actor. He's never convincing for me. Him trying to do the whole cool silent type while
Yup.
also being big, like he's like Eddie Redmayne's performance in
Eddie
Jupiter Jupiter Ascending, where he's like quiet but also loud at the
Speaking
same
of
time.
fucking overrated, Eddie Redmayne belongs in that category.
I saw on Reddit this week that it was like you add "in my ass" to any your favorite movie. What does it become? The one guy was like, "The theory of everything in my ass," and I'm like, I don't know what's funnier, the title or that your favorite movie is "The Theory of Everything." That's like unbelievable to me.
Oscar bait garbage.
Yeah,
But no,
he
but
won
with-
the Oscar for it.
Of course it did,
Yeah.
because it's
I like
Oscar
the,
bait.
You know what the best Eddie Redmayne movie is? It's The Aeronauts, which was an Amazon Prime original
I don't
movie.
think I ever saw it.
You should watch it. It's basically a hot air balloon movie with him and Felicity Jones, and that does,
Oh, I'd
in
watch
my
for
opinion,
Felicity
the
Jones.
best. Because a lot of people on Twitter have been talking about this, the historical revisionism of like gender swapping, race swapping.
Mm-hmm.
That movie, The Aeronauts, in my opinion, does it the best. Where it's basically takes in that movie. Historically, the guy did a hot air balloon flight with another man, but they make it a woman who's like an actual historical person who had these theories at the time, and they just
cool.
put it in, and it's like it's the same or similar thing because who knows what the heck happens when they go up in the air there. But like it does historical revisionism right, where it's kind of like, okay, we're gonna do this to make it more of an interesting movie, and if that makes people more interested in the actual historical figures, then
Then
that's
they'll
the way
discover
you
that
should
themselves.
do it. But like
As
this,
long as it pays enough homage, or even if it's completely
I mean, you
different.
do it
As
either
long as
way.
it's not
As
fucking
long-
fan service pop feminism garbage.
I think
You're just
anything's
so into
fine.
that.
Anything.
Fucking hate pop feminism. It's my new thing to hate.
Yeah, are you a feminist yourself?
I don't know. I disagree with the ideology, and I'm sure I'll
That men
get
and
fucking
women should be equal.
fuck. No, that men can be feminists. I
I'm an
don't.
equal person.
That's kind of old school to me. Like
I don't think men can be feminists because men. It's the same as
I hear. That
I
all
can
the time.
agree with Black Lives Matter. I can support the Black Lives Matter movement, but I'll never be able to know what that means to someone who's black who has been pissed on by the police.
Oh.
So in the same regard, I can say, yes, I support equality. I think women can do the exact same things that men can do. I think women should do whatever they want to do in the world, the same as men.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to understand the strife because I've never been a woman.
But did you guys see or review The Closer at all? In that, Dave Chappelle discovers like what the definition of feminism is, which is just believing that men and women should have the same rights, and that's it. And for some reason, there's this big, probably because the word is so terrible, we can all agree that. But
Yeah.
like that it means something more than it does, but it just like means equality for men and women. So it's like by definition, everybody's a feminist. So why does it have to be such a big deal in movies and like you say, pop feminism or this thing? Like, why does it always have to draw so much attention to itself when it's like we should just tell the story and these things kind of happen along the way?
My only feeling towards Dave Chappelle, and this is the last thing I'll say about Dave Chappelle, is him and Chris Rock should star in a movie together called When We Were Funny. Because Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock were so goddamn funny when they started. And now that they think that they're the fucking saviors of black culture, they should fuck off.
Definitely Dave Chappelle more than
Chris Rock,
Because Chris
absolutely.
Rock did this year went out and made a Saw movie, which was more interesting than Dave Chappelle's.
But Chris Rock is like telling me about fucking marriage advice. I don't need my fucking marriage advice from Chris fucking
like,
Rock.
But a comedian of that age is always going to go into marriage.
But
material.
it should be funny. That's the
Yeah.
problem. The new stuff is not
I
funny.
never found
but
Chris
Dave
Rock.
Chappelle got famous off of his skit comedy, and he doesn't
Which was
do that
extremely
anymore.
which was extremely racist. The way that Blazing Saddles was fucking funny. No one goes to Blazing Saddles and watches it and go, oh man, being racist is hilarious. They go and look at the spectacle of how stupid this is and how insipid this is. Nobody would be like this, and they laugh at it. That's what you did with Dave Chappelle's comedy. And now that he
Would
starts
you
to take...
find Blazing Saddles to be racist though?
Oh, fuck. Blazing Saddles is ludicrously racist, but it is so racist that it points out how stupid racism is. You know?
Wouldn't that make it like non-racist somehow?
To me, Blazing Saddles is easily the best comedy I've ever seen in my life.
A lot of people say,
And
yeah.
because it gets racism fucking like center of the fucking of the dartboard. It gets spoofing racism so perfectly that no other movie has done it that good in history. The only other show that
No
came
one will
close
ever
to
touch it now.
is exactly.
Yeah.
And
I
the
think
only
you
person that
could.
came fucking close to it was Dave Chappelle. With like, dude, the fucking the black white supremacist. Even now, that shit is hilarious. And Dave Chappelle will never go back to it and say this was funny. At the time, he'll be, oh, I was a younger man and blah blah blah. That shit was hilarious. It's okay to find that shit hilarious. It's spoofing racism. It's fucking funny. You look at Taika Waititi as fucking Adolf Hitler. Why did you play him? Blah, 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 blah. Because it's fucking funny. It's funny that a Jew is making fun of a fucking, a guy that hated fucking Jews. That's the joke.
Yeah.
And there's way too many fucking people nowadays, and you know, bringing it back to Chappelle and Chris Rock, that are going back. Oh no, the past stuff I did, I was younger. I need to be more, responsible now. I'm a character that people are going to listen to me. No one's listening to you. Shut the fuck up and just be funny.
But Dave has been like somewhat unapologetic about it, hasn't he? Of like being
transgender
like,
stuff.
Yeah, of like I refuse to blah blah blah. But anyway, we're off topic.
But yeah, sorry. Harder They Fall. My biggest problem with it is it wants
it's made to have these discussions in a way.
But I disagree with Phil on that. I think I don't think it's a specific to a demographic. I think black people would watch it and go, "This is a fun movie. I'm glad seeing all these black people." Same way that you'd watch Black Panther. Dude, this is awesome seeing a black superhero. But
Another
it's not.
movie I was upset that white people were in.
But it's not specific for black audiences.
When Clow kind of didn't need to be in the story.
I thought he did. I love
and
fucking
Martin
Clow.
Freeman's, it makes good use of him. Martin Freeman definitely did not need to be in that movie. So it was kind of like, I was thinking, and I always would do this as a filmmaker because I'm inspired by The Thing as an all-male picture, and that was like a purposeful thing of like, when is somebody going to make that movie? Where it's like, this is all going to be one group of people. Because people will totally see it, and this movie is proof of that, of like, you can go further. And I have to say, in terms of the stuff that I've seen, I haven't seen very many good stuff lately. Like, this was like 3/4 of the way a good movie, and I don't mean that it falls apart
No,
at the end,
I
but
think-
it's like it was just missing for me something stupid like set decoration, but it was still to me like a good movie, and everything you say about it like not being good is like totally valid. Because it's like it aims for a specific kind of weird target, and you can tell it's in it.
Yeah,
you
that was my problem with it. I think it knew what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
I just wish that it didn't
was
want to
something
be
else
what it
then.
wanted to be.
Yeah.
I wish that, dude, can you imagine like Spike Lee making something like this?
I can't
I
ever
would-
see him making something that ambitious.
But I would love the idea of Spike Lee trying to take on fucking cowboys.
What do you think of Old Boy? His version of Old Boy.
I prefer the Korean one better,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it is adequate.
Yeah, I
you know?
thought so, too.
But it was the problem with this is it tried to be too cool. As soon as you try to be too cool, you ruin it, in my opinion. And there were some actors that were just not up to the caliber of the other actors in the story.
Like who? Who were the weak links?
Zsa Zsa Beats fucking sucks. She's a terrible, terrible Zazie Dr. Dre
But
Beats.
she's just kind of eye candy.
But she's trying so hard and she's sucking so bad. It's one of those things that you watch in the movie. Every time this character comes on, you're like, ugh.
Did you think
know?
that? But didn't you think that she was good as Domino in Deadpool 2?
I thought she was great looking as Domino in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, but it's
All
like
right.
it's a comedy. I thought she was funny enough.
But she never tried to take anything seriously as Domino. It was always goofy. It was always silly.
so it kind of comes back
That was
then
her character.
to.
I don't think she's a good enough actress to fucking be this role.
It's kind of like James Samuel's direction. It comes back to that then, I guess. Because
Yep.
I was kind of thinking, like, when she fights Regina King, my first thought was, like, as we know Regina King has been in, like, so much, it's like Regina King should kick her ass. But then I also thought of it as like, oh, isn't Regina King probably like 5'2"? Something
I
like-
also, and this is, but this is something that's unique to me. I do not care for this type of music. So every time it would start, I'm used to watching my spaghetti westerns with Western music,
The
right?
music
But
was
it's like that's
different,
been
yeah.
played out. It's like we need the revisionist western.
Which
it's the only movie all of these characters would fit into.
and that wasn't something that I'm like, this is a reason to hate the movie. That was just a reason. This pulls
Wasn't
me out of a
for
bit.
you.
Yeah, wasn't for me. And I really wish that they had gone in the direction that I wish this movie had a more serious tone.
I didn't think that Jonathan Majors was like good, and he's like one of those actors like Yahya Abdul-Mateen, or dare I say Jake Gyllenhaal sometimes, where it's like I just don't think the general public is very good at saying like this actor is so good. It's like the thing that bothers me the most is for Watchmen. The Emmy nominations, it was Louis Gossett Jr. and Yahya Abdul-Mateen for playing Dr.
Dr.
Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan is like an easy role to play because you're blue and you don't say much and you're just regarded as
You're
intelligent.
ethereal. Yep.
But Louis Gossett Jr. is creating like an entirely new character who everything he says sounds like super important. You're wondering about him, like who is this guy? What does he do? The entire thing. He creates an entire character. All of his line deliveries are good, and yet people are like, yeah, Abdul-Mateen, he gets the Emmy. He's the good one. He gets all the praise. Everything he does can do no wrong. Similar to Jake Gyllenhaal.
I just want to see how Black America takes this movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll love it. I mean, there isn't a whole
you know
lot
what?
made for them
and
of
they
this
absolutely
caliber.
should, and that's awesome. That's
Will
why
it be celebrated or forgotten? Like
It's a Netflix movie, so it didn't.
forgotten.
it'll be
Yeah.
forgotten.
But it's like, it's fine. I think it will get recognized probably come Oscar time because it's like a politically agreeable movie, you know.
Yep.
But it's like I'll say what I think it should get nominated for, and then we can come back to it when the Oscar nominations get announced. I'm like, it doesn't deserve Best Picture.
No, hell no.
Jonathan Majors does not deserve Best Actor.
Nope.
Lakeith Stanfield does not deserve Best Supporting Actor.
No.
I think the one thing I'd be
The cinematography, the cinematography.
I don't think it should be up for an award,
No.
but I think it's
Soundtrack
good.
for a Grammy.
Soundtrack. That's what I think. The soundtrack might get nominated.
just to say something.
Yep,
Yeah,
just to say,
but not
yeah.
because it's great.
No.
Like it's different. It's fine, but I don't think it should get an award.
It definitely shouldn't get production design, but I'm sure it will get nominated.
I
Black
hope-
Panther got production design, and I don't think it.
I
deserved it
hope
at
that
all.
this director learns from this movie and says, okay, I can do another movie like this with an all-black cast. Maybe it's all black gangsters or all
Sorry, I
black
need to check
fucking
something. Can you open this for me?
all black, whatever.
But it
type of
doesn't
thing.
need to be a caricature.
Doesn't need to be cool and hip and fuck, we're so awesome. Doesn't need to be that. It just needs to be tell a good story with good actors who aren't caricatures, man.
Yeah.
Because you were halfway there. You were almost there with
Yeah.
this cast. Just do it better.
I totally agree. So out of 10,
This one definitely fucking better than Army of Thieves. That was a nightmare
Yeah,
to
it
watch.
was.
I
I give
disagree.
this one a
It was more interesting in
in
story.
my
You
opinion-
thought
That's not
Army
true.
of Thieves was better than The Harder They
yes,
Fall?
because I just couldn't get into this. Like to me, it was just boring.
What are you looking for?
There was a couple
Check if I was
scenes
right on.
that were good.
Yes, I was.
That-
Hannah Belushi.
But aside from that, most of the dialogue I found really boring. I fell asleep. Yes, I did. Again.
So there were a few interesting
And-
lines. Oh, I want to say something about it. I want to say something, and I was thinking about this, and I'm like, I'll write it down. I'm like, no, I'll remember it, and I did. I never find it the gender reveal is like both in our society and stuff, and in movies is like. Get rid of it. Like it's never shocking. It's never convincing of like, oh my gosh, this person who we thought was a guy was a woman all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like never, and it adds nothing to the plot.
Yeah, that to me is the biggest thing. It
I
adds
knew
nothing
she,
to the plot.
I knew she was a woman as soon as like they address it. There's no plot point to her having to wear a dress. She doesn't need to wear a dress.
But-
it doesn't add to. You can take out the entire. Aside from in concept, ooh, the town is white and it's a white town, and I don't even think it's
But at
painted
the
that well.
end, you can say she's gay because she
Yeah, but
kissed
it's,
Trudy or
yeah,
Dr. Dre beats.
so that everybody
that
can,
was the whole.
It was
so
a
that
throw
everybody
in.
can tweet about it and it can get
And-
right.
points for that, even though it's not really even a fully developed gay
And-
relationship, which deserves to happen on screen.
Yep.
So-
and again,
And we're just getting tired of like, okay, the fifth first gay character to do this when we haven't even developed a character. There was a point where in Army of Thieves where Dieter pauses, and I'm thinking, I was thinking this character could be gay, and it's like they could have done that and developed that character even, but it's like every single time they do the bare minimum for like gay couples on movies, and then they annoy the straight people of like dangling it, and then the gay people are annoyed because the straight people are annoyed.
For me, I've seen the best gay couple, the best gay character in a TV show. It's already happened. It was fucking David Fisher from 6 Feet Under. They will never do a gay character better than that character.
But they need to do it in a comic book movie or a superhero movie. They
Which would
need
be
to
great.
do
Which, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Shang-Chi.
Oh, fuck off.
yeah, I didn't see Shang-Chi.
Well,
Shang-Chi.
Aquafina, wasn't she gay?
No, she's
But it's like they
Shang-Chi's
do this
girlfriend.
all the time, where
Somebody-
they're
but,
like,
yeah, somebody
this
was gay,
character
but I
is
can't remember.
gay, but we're not going to
Maybe
really...
we're just remembering it wrong.
Wow.
But yes, I'm sorry.
Maybe
So
we were
I was a
hoping
6
she
out of
was
10.
gay.
What were you out of 10 with?
I'll give it a
Fall?
7.3 out of 10.
What about you, Phil? You're the one that starts fucking rating them.
5.
5, eh? God,
It
you're
was.
Hey, I can't believe you
had
thought
some-
Army of-
racist.
Okay, I want to have this discussion right now because we're just doing both.
Okay, you
why
gotta
is
make it
Army of
quick.
Why is Army of Thieves better though than this movie? What
Because it
makes
had more white people,
It
right,
had more
Phil?
action. I liked as
Because it had more Germans. We know
Oh
what
my
you prefer.
goodness. As tedious as it was, I kind of liked the talk around like the safes, like their history
When
and
he would
everything.
speak in
as
German.
much as you complained about it, I actually kind of liked that stuff. It was cool.
Because it was a unique.
It was like telling it in a unique way. It was like I was into that. Like instead of like an instructor going, I would never know, and this happened, and this guy was like really into it, and it was great.
So going forward, after we get your rating, what do you think will have a bigger
Nope.
cultural footprint? The Army of Thieves?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Or
I
Army of
didn't say that.
Do you think Army of Thieves or The Harder They Fall? Which one do you think will have a bigger cultural
What they should
footprint?
do
harder
is
they
have
fall,
Tig
for
Notaro
sure.
in the
It's not
third
even
army of
know why
gay
that's a
helicopter
thing.
pilots,
Because if
and
they
they
make
should
a
do it in the
sequel-
Old West.
Because if they make a sequel to the Army series, then that can then make it part of like a trilogy.
Army of lesbian
I
helicopter
think
pilots
it's more going to be a universe than a trilogy.
that are green
That's what
screened
they're trying to do.
to hang out with each other.
I think Netflix, because they're actually both Netflix movies. I just realized
Army of
they
green
can cross them
screened
both over.
Lesbian helicopter pilots.
They should do
God damn it.
the harder
That's what it should be.
the harder they die and have it be an undead nightmare.
The
Red Dead
harder they
Redemption
army.
crossover.
Let's be
What was
honest.
your rating?
If
He said
if it
5.
was 5.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, let's be honest. Like if they were to do this concept of the harder they fall and then had them face zombies, that would have been fucking awesome.
Yeah, that would be. Do that movie.
Right? But
Yeah.
don't do it like Cowboys for
we get
Aliens,
your
because
rating?
no.
Oh, yeah, I did 7.3.
There you go.
All right, watch us on, what do we call it again? Watch and Complain.
Complain.com.
Yeah, and Film Gamer.
And
filmgamer.com. And you can find me at Pornhub /
Pornhub /
Donkey Cock.
Bravo Rabble.
Are you gonna? Would you seriously consider setting up a Pornhub account for us and uploading
No,
these
I
to
don't
Pornhub?
care, but-
More people watch Pornhub, possibly.
You know
than
what?
YouTube.
I will do it.
Actually, probably not.
I will do it. I will do it just to see what happens.
Yeah. See what happens. That's how it always.
You know what's
starts.
gonna happen? We're gonna start getting direct messages. Hey, I love you guys talking about movies, but can you guys whip out your cocks and puke all over
No,
each
it's
other?
gonna be like, can
Show
you
your
guys?
feet.
No, they're
Show
gonna.
your feet.
They're gonna ask
Pour
us to-
honey all over each other while you're
They're
talking
gonna
about
ask
movies.
us to review certain scenes, and then they're gonna ask us to get local stars on here, and that's how it's gonna start.
You already have your buddy who's an Instagram model.
Oh right.
Let's get her on.
Yeah. When you,
Let her know that we have a Pornhub channel.
Disappointed it's not
I
a
think
dude.
she's an Instagram model though, not a porn star.
Bye.
Yeah.